welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you some of the unlisted item bonuses and hidden interactions in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. With these tips, you will be able to create fun and powerful builds all on your own. Shock Tina and show Dragon Lord who's the real boss in the game. But before we go any further, the totally unexpected ask, please attack the like button with Stinky Fish in front of its date outside its house on prom night. And maybe subscribe and comment too. And now, on to the juicy part. The first item that we're going to look at is the Gluttony Pistol. This pistol is locked to dark magic and is always a very strong choice. You can see down at the bottom, it says that the thrown weapon explodes shortly after impact, creating a dagger storm. You can unfortunately get it without the dagger storm. That version is not very good. But this weapon also has one other unlisted ability. When you throw it, it cuts your life in half. Now you might not think that's very good, but there are enchantments that you can make use of that with. There are things that you can do, like rings that are bonused when you get your life down to under 50%, and enchantments that you can trigger this way as well. So if you need your life at 50% or less, throwing this will cut your life by 51%. Next up is one of my personal favorites, the Sacrificial Skeep Amulet. On top of its listed bonus of creating a sacrificial skeep when your health drops below 50%, this has another fantastic thing that it does for you. First off, the skeep actually counts as a companion, and then on top of it, when your life gets cut in half and the skeep is created, see those bursts? Those dark magic bursts will fill your life up. How cool is that? The skeep will actually heal you up to full health 4, maybe even 5 times. At first, the Boniface's soul can seem a little bit underwhelming. Thrown weapon explodes on impact. However, once you realize that that explosion fills your shield back up, the weapon takes on a little bit of a different light. If you have a build where you have trouble keeping your shield up, try the Boniface's soul. Buffmeister is a well-loved spell that has many secrets. On the bottom you will see that this one is Ka-Chow Bonk, and there are many different things that can be on the bottom, each of them with different abilities. I suggest that you go and check out B-Flat's video about the Buffmeister if you want to see what all of those are. However, there is one other completely unlisted bonus to the Buffmeister. Did you know that when you trigger it, it creates a Nova? Look at that. 17k damage Nova just from triggering the Buffmeister. There are 2 rings in the game that can actually roll with double rolls on the top. The Fealty Oath and the Shark's Bane. Now they can only roll it with very specific rolls. The Shark's Bane can roll double gun damage on the top, and the Fealty Oath can roll with double Furior gun damage. No other rings can do this. On your melee weapon, the most useful hilt mod for all classes is the Echo hilt mod. You'll see here, its listed ability of doing 10% of all non-melee damage dealt by the Fatemaker over the last 10 seconds is much stronger than it sounds. Now I realize this one is listed, but I want to point out how strong this really is by showing off first a melee hit, then stacking damage for 10 seconds, and then showing you a melee hit again.
You're looking for trouble, you found it.
Almost nothing. Stack damage for 10 seconds. And boom. See how big that melee hit was? And this is not a melee-based build. The Echo Hilt mod. Did you know that all sigil spells have an unlisted bonus? As well as what you can see on the card, all sigil spells have the unlisted ability to block incoming projectiles. Use this to make certain bosses much easier to fight. The Empowering Sigil spell actually has the strongest DOT for a spell in the game. And at a 66% chance to proc it, you've got to try this out. Even at 521 damage with a Primordial one in Chaos 100, this spell is amazingly strong for DOTs. Check this out. With no build-up whatsoever, we are immediately freezing enemies. Such high cryo efficiency. And then of course enemies that are cryoed will take a lot more damage. And again, this is not a status effect character, but look at the damage being dealt here to these enemies just by this spell alone. Another spell in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands with a lot of unlisted bonuses is the Marshmallow. At first, this Marshmallow just seems like a basic marshmallow. You throw it, it does some damage. But did you know that you can throw it and then use it to ricochet shots at enemies? You can use this to shoot around corners, and on top of it, it doesn't just do projectiles. This is the Live Wire, a weapon which normally chains to enemies anyway. With our melee, we can strike the Marshmallow, and you can see the lightning chains were going on over to that enemy there. And on top of all of that, it creates health pickups when the Marshmallow dies. What a fantastic spell. The Wizard's Pipe is an often overlooked yet extremely fun gun to play with. However, it doesn't seem to have a listed bonus, and Get Back to the Abyss doesn't really describe many things. What does this gun actually do? It seems to just be a Hyperion SMG that fires out an extra ball every so often. However, that ball will actually change to whatever the weakness of the enemy that you're shooting at is, much like the Troublemaker from Borderlands 3. The Skeep Prod has an unlisted ability that's a lot of fun. Most people don't pick up on this because they tend to only shoot one target with this sniper. So check out what happens when you hit more than one target. That's right, lightning chains between the targets. Our next unlisted bonus belongs to the Shadowfire SMG. Take a look at the status damage. You see it does a respectable 609 at a 50% chance. But did you know that the spell generated when you throw this weapon has one of the highest DOTs in the game, and it is unlisted on the gun anywhere? Here it comes. Now, part of that was, of course, the fact that we have a Spirit Swarm, but the Spirit Swarm was only doing so much damage because of the size of the DOT that we had applied. An unlisted bonus to Torg sticky weapons, that's any Torg weapon that uses a sticky projectile, is that the stacking sticky explosions can create the best DOTs from a gun in the game. Here we have a completely unenchanted Ludite Blastoff from Torg. We'll just get our stuff going. You'll see, completely unenchanted, we are able to create massive damages and DOTs with this gun. Completely unenchanted at Chaos 100.
Like wheat before the sight.
The last trick that I have for you today is with the Universal Soldier, using its listed ability of dealing melee damage to instantly refill your ammunition at a 30% chance, combined with anything that is non-standard. That's right, anything that deals melee damage, including something like Ghostblade, can be used to trigger that amulet. Check it out. Now watch my ammo fill back up. How cool is that? Any melee damage that you can deal from any outside source is what will actually trigger this amulet. So for instance, you can use an action skill, you could use a shield that deals melee damage, you can use a shotgun that deals melee damage. It's really up to you. So thanks for joining me in discovering some of these secrets here in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I hope that you can use these interactions and unlisted bonuses to make some crazy, overpowered builds in the future. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Until the next time, this is Eternal Dragon. Happy gaming!
Flexing with style and mad skills like my name was Eternal Dragon's gameplay and builds. So come get your fill, cause you paying the bill. The conflict's critical, situation real. I'm a pop, I'm let it rock, close mark, old school 360 like an Xbox, make it hot. What you got, gonna give me go right? I'ma watch my watch as I watch you fly. Slowing down my lyrics for a